So the first question we're going to answer is the one we've heard the most about is how many SOPs should you have? And I love how everyone comes in with 12. Like, really?
From the perspective of a site, this is just onerous. It's not that I don't understand why you'd want me to have things documented as to how I operate and also to have something for my staff to learn and reference and use. It's just onerous, right? And writing them feels daunting, and I'm not exactly sure what they're all supposed to say. And so it's a little frustrating, and it's a lot to manage. Every time something changes in my process, then I got to go back and update it. But it's the first thing I'm getting asked for when it comes to an audit, whether that's the FDA, whether that's feasibility by a sponsor. And so it's a necessary evil. Where I would say you're a little bit different with IRBs is, I mean, let's face it, IRBs live in red tape. They're aware from the moment that they're formed, they are essentially red tape. And so the thought that you would be formed or that you would operate in that type of an infrastructure and not have some level of policy and procedure is pretty far flung from the types of research administrators who are usually at the helm in an IRB setting. Now, are some way more robust and detailed than others? You betcha. And part of that is because they recognize, and I think if sites could adopt this a little bit, it would help their mentality. But IRBs know that they have to hand their SOPs out to everyone who wants to use their IRB. It's not just about who can audit them and who they're supposed to have SOPs for and for their internal staff and their own, workings. It's that legitimately everyone who applies to the IRB goes, I need to see how to apply. I need to see what your policies and procedures are. So they're used to having to have them ready for the whole world. And so it's just a little bit different and unnerving for the sites. What are you going to say, sponsor, CRO?
So here's my thought process. When I'm coming in as a sponsor and coming as a CRO, I have a few different things I'm looking at. Number one, I'm responsible, and I don't mean from a PI perspective, but as a oversight perspective, to make sure that the people you guys are enrolling into my trial are actually safe. The only way I know things are safe is if you are telling me what you're doing on a routine basis and you follow those things on a routine basis. So I need you to have policies just so I know that you have a process. Now you go, you know what? I need to have 19 policies. I don't really care. As long as you're taking the right steps to make sure these patients are protected. Now, I need specifics enough for me to know these are the steps you're going to follow, and I can now audit you to make sure you're following those steps. So how many should you have? It's not 5. Let's be clear. If you have 1, you're probably not doing it right. If you have 4,000, you're probably not doing it right.
Not doing it right. Well, and I think this is where, there's a way to do this artfully where you touch all of the appropriate topics and speak to your processes. But every time you lift a pencil, you don't have to make a change in your SOPs. You don't want to have an SOP for, absolutely every little thing. And you want to definitely have a process by which you are vetting what is actually warranted and merited to be an SOP versus simply a work instruction or, a training exercise. Because you don't want everything to be an SOP. If you're under 5, especially the closer you get to 1, I have trouble believing you have robust policy and procedure. And a clinical trial site who runs maybe no more than 10 or 15 trials a year, and you have like 400 policies, I'm going to be like, whoa, okay, somebody who's a little policy happy. We need to probably combine, condense.
I'm going to add some more stuff from the sponsor viewpoint. Some SOPs are reactive. But the fact is, that's exactly why you want SOPs. So you shouldn't be reactive. You should policies and procedures set a standard so that everyone can follow them, and you're not treating everything as a unique fire that needs to be resolved in a unique, special snowflake kind of way. Number 2, if you're looking to get bought out at some point, let's be honest, every time I talk to a site, now or in the next 5 years, I want to be bought out and I want to be a millionaire and I want to go sit in my island. And all these M&A private equity companies are going, I want to see some structure. I want to see some form. And I'll pay for that because I want to know that you guys have it. So From that perspective, having 3 is not helping someone go, you know what you're doing. You know this from drafting. I know this from drafting. The longer the document, the more it's going to contradict itself.
This is where we run into, when you talk about how many SOPs, where we got a lot of questions, especially, after the SOP panel around like, could you open source SOPs? Could you use AI for SOPs? And many of us said, look, I am not suggesting that if one site who is pretty similar to my own, and I happen to know their owner, and I think they are doing a really great job, wants to share a template with me of how they're doing something, there's anything wrong with that, or that you shouldn't help each other out, right? I mean, we launched our own SOP subscription template model for exactly that reason. And so I think that there's a lot of conversation there around, can you use these things as tools? Sure. If you want to put something in Chat GPT and have it give you ideas or a base of content or review something for a certain tone, I mean, absolutely. Having said that, is that going to be your final copy of that SOP? No, not if you want it to actually be effective. And that's the bottom line from the site. Maybe I'm actually really good in business, but I'm not a research compliance person, or maybe I'm the physician who has the patient population, sees the need, has the passion, but I don't do ops. I don't write SOPs for a living. This is not what I do. And now you're putting so much extra burden on me with these extra steps. It's just difficult. It's so much extra onus and work, and it doesn't reflect on the quality of the care my patients are receiving. It just affects whether or not it's written down the right way for you.
If I am a emerging site, like this is my first sort of trial. This is my first year of operations. I don't even know what I don't know yet. How many SOPs should you have? And I'm going to give you it's a multi-choice.
Yeah.
0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, or 20 to 30.
I'd love to see you 5 to 10, but as long as you clear 0 to 5, I'm okay with you.
Really? No, I'm more of a okay.
Well, of course you are.
I did position.
You're like,
that.
I need 35 policies the day you open, or you're non-compliant, and I'm going to scare the bejesus out of you.
Okay, that's fair. I did position this as first year. I think second or third year site, I want to see you have 10 to 20 at least. But first year, you're right. That's a little aggressive.
That's a lot. That's a lot. If you are firmly at 5 in your first year, like
I wouldn't do 1 to 5 though. To me, 1 to 5, even first year would worry.
SOPs, to me, is extremely risky. And I'm the one who is not as concerned about risk and who is not as risk averse. And even I would say that would be alarming to me as a sponsor. And as a site, like I said, once you're out of that first year of infancy, I would expect to see far more than 5.
Awesome. I'm going to end on that note. Call, click, or email.